Before I start this video, if you've not subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please click the like button, share this out through social media, and leave comments in the comments section. The Super Mario Galaxy movie was released this week, and not surprising, the Shills have actually completely panned it, while the fans are absolutely loving it. So the first thing I'd like to take a look at is Rotten Tomatoes, and let's go see how they feel. And as you can see here, the tomato meter is a splat at 42% for the Shills, 165 reviews, while the popcorn meter is at 89% for the fans and 2,500 plus verified ratings. So that's a difference of 47%. That isn't just a small schism. That is like a colossal chasm between the Shills and the fans. And that's really not surprising because that's the way things are these days. The Shills are either completely out of touch or they're completely bought off by Hollywood. That's only two explanations. They've completely lost touch with what fans want, or their access and their goodie bags and whatever else Hollywood throws at them for either panning a movie they want panned or propping a movie they want propped, whatever's going on there. I mean, I don't know why anyone listens to any of these shills anymore. But that brings me to my favorite shill, and that is Grace Randolph. And let's hear what she has to say about the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And let's try not to lose brain cells.
I continue to feel that Bowser and now Bowser Jr. are a little bit too actually evil.
Grace, dear, let me try to explain this to you. They're the antagonists of the movie. They're supposed to be evil. They're not supposed to have a redemption arc, if that's what you're looking for. Because you know what the plot of almost every Mario game is? Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach, and she has to be rescued. I mean, there's different ways to rescue her, different things they have to do, different characters they meet along the way. But that's the basic story of the game. That's the basic plot of the game. It's rinse, wash, and repeat. And you know what? The people that play those games absolutely love it that way. And the second thing, Grace, is you're really taking this way too seriously. It's a movie adapted off of a video game. Let me try to make an analogy here. Way back to the original Mortal Kombat. Not the reboot, but the original Mortal Kombat. There was a movie that was campy. There was a bunch of one-liners in it. It didn't take itself very seriously because it was based on a video game. However, the fans of that video game came out in droves and watched it and loved it because it stayed true to the source material. It stayed true to the video game. When they rebooted it, they tried to make it serious. They took away the campiness. They took away the fun. They took away, they even kind of went away from the video game. They went off script completely, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't keep up with Mortal Kombat. Maybe they've changed the storylines, but this was unfamiliar to me. I had watched the movie and I was left going, what did you guys do? It should have been campy. it shouldn't have taken itself seriously. And it would have probably made a lot more money than it did. And I'm hoping that with the next edition of Mortal Kombat, starring Carl Urban, that they remember to be campy, to be fun, and not to be serious. And that's what both these movies for Super Mario have been. And that's why the fans love it. But let's get back to Grace, and let's try not to lose brain cells in the process.
Like, it goes beyond cartoon villainy. I think maybe because they kind of mimic like the toxic manosphere that is like, I don't know if it's becoming more and more popular, if it's maybe finally reached its breaking point, but
She just did not compare Bowser to Andrew Tate. Please tell me she didn't do that. Bowser is part of the toxic manosphere. Bowser is a video game character who likes to kidnap a princess. That's it. There's no toxic manosphere. By the way, the toxic manosphere, you know who brought on the toxic manosphere? You fucking modern feminists. That's who brought on the toxic manosphere. If feminists, modern feminists, hadn't been modern feminists, people like Andrew Tate wouldn't have had a platform. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Grace. And let's get back to, I guess, losing brain cells, because this is just horrible.
you know, I see a lot of similar talking points there. And the movie at first seemed like it was going to be a journey of redemption in that regard, but I was surprised that they decided to not do that, right?
You mean you were surprised that the movie was just like the video game, where they have to defeat Bowser and rescue the princess? You mean you're surprised by that? I mean, I don't know how many. Nintendo isn't my thing, okay? I'll admit that readily. But I am aware that the majority of these Super Mario games, or even like Mario, I know most of them, the basic plot is pretty simple: rescue Princess Peach from Bowser, and in this case, from Bowser Jr. That's it. So if you're staying true to the source material, there is no redemption arc.
I was like, what are you therefore trying to say? Like, they're certainly not the first cartoon villains to kidnap a damsel in distress, but for some reason, it feels a lot worse here.
No, it doesn't. It only feels worse to you. To everyone else, it feels perfectly natural. It's what's supposed to happen. It's what's in the video games. They're staying true, which is why all the fans love this. I mean, Grace, you're really going way too hard into this. It's a video game movie. It's a movie based on a video game. There isn't some deep meaning in here. And you're like looking for a deep meaning. This is why the Shills are so stupid and why nobody should listen to them. And I don't know. She's got 936,000 subscribers. By the way, the last time I looked, she had 937. She lost 1,000 subscribers. Huh. In the last couple of months. I don't remember the last time I did a reaction to her, but she had 937. So maybe some people are learning that she's fucking retarded. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's completely lost touch with reality and with the fans. Maybe they're beginning to learn that. And by the way, the 936,000 subscribers she still has, these are the same people that voted for Cackle Barrel Kamala Harris. I just like to point that out. Enough said. Let's go back to losing brain cells.
And then, well, of course, it was very touching to see Bowser and his son bonding.
Eyes?
How can you cheer that on when they're bonding over like genuinely evil activity?
Oh my God, that's scary. I guess I've missed that before. Let's go back and look at that. Holy shit. I mean, could you imagine like coming home to that? Or waking up in the morning and having that looking at you? By the way, the hair looks like it's like that freshly fucked do, but I find it very hard to believe that anyone would willingly fuck Grace at this point. I would hope not, so we won't say the R word. But yeah. Oh God. Let's just continue, please.
I guess, like, I think the difference is that in other fantasy stories, villains are villains, and usually pretty inept ones. Like, you're always, you know, they're going to be defeated in the.
No, that's modern storytelling. There are a lot of great villains who are not inept. One that always comes to mind for me is Sauron from The Lord of the Rings. He was not inept. Sure, he made one little mistake that caused his defeat. But other than that, he was very close to ruling Middle Earth. Very close. And very close twice. At the end of the Second Age, it took the last alliance of men and elves, and it took a lot of powerful people losing their lives so that Sauron was defeated. And what was the reward for this? Well, he just came back in the Third Age and did it all over again. And he was even closer to winning this time. In the tale of The Lord of the Rings, he was very much closer. It's a very fine line between victory and defeat in those stories, and they're very gripping. And Sauron's not a moron at all. He almost played the game perfectly. He made one bad move and it cost him the entire game. And anyone who plays chess regularly will understand that analogy. You can play a perfect game and at the end you make one stupid move and you lose the game. That doesn't make you a moron. That doesn't make you inept. You made a mistake. You're a human being. Now, Sauron wasn't a human being, but he had some human traits. And one of those human traits was a flaw. But he was not a moron. And there's plenty of other people throughout storytelling, throughout movies, throughout television shows that are not morons. This is only recent history. This is only when women have taken over writing rooms. Blue-haired freaks who don't know what they're doing. This is when they've made the antagonists morons because they're not smart enough to make an intelligent antagonist because they're not smart enough to defeat him. And by the way, I'm going to use the him because they very rarely make a female antagonist anymore. The females are the heroes. The toxic males are the villains, and they're basically just stupid men who need to be defeated by a strong female. That's Hollywood for you. But Let's go back to losing more brain cells.
The end. But Bowser and Co., they're more effective than your typical cartoon villain, and the audience is asked to sympathize with them, laugh with them, and relate to them, right?
They're not asking anyone to sympathize with them. Maybe laugh at them because they're supposed to be funny. But laughing, humor, and sympathy are two different emotions. So, no, we're not supposed to sympathize. You may think you're supposed to sympathize, but the audience is not supposed to sympathize with Bowser. He's the antagonist. You want to see him beaten. You want to see him defeated. You want to see Princess Peach rescued. That's what you want. That's why you came to watch the movie. Let's continue.
It's like if in Silence of the Lambs, they were like, Buffalo Bill's actually a pretty cool guy to have a drink with. And you were like,
A transvestite serial killer is pretty cool, and I'd like to have a drink with him. By the way, here's another character, thoroughly evil and not a moron. How long did the FBI look for Buffalo Bill before someone who wasn't even an agent randomly stumbled upon him and figured out that he was the serial killer and then killed him? He wasn't dumb. I don't even think he really screwed up. It's just the protagonist was a little bit smarter. That's it. And by the way, that's way back when they used to be able to tell good stories and write good scripts and stuff like that. And you had, you had a strong female lead who wasn't an annoying, insufferable Karen. And she had a redemption. She had a character growth throughout the movie. Something that they just can't do anymore in Hollywood. And in very slim cases, Project Mary probably being one of the few where they actually developed the character through the course of a movie. But it's very rare. Let's go back to Grace.
yeah, but we can't get over the but, I think. All right, so then with the princesses, I do think the Mario and Peach relationship is handled a little bit better here than in the first movie. Although it's still moving along as slow as molasses,
There's no relationship here. I don't even think they were going there. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I heard, there's no relationship there. They're friends. All right? If there's something going on there, Princess Peach has friend zoned Mario, okay? But I don't think there was ever supposed to be anything going on there, at least not according to the video games or anyone I've spoken to regarding this, or any of the other reviews I've watched on this. So I don't know where she got this, that there's some hidden relationship or some hidden meaning going on here. I didn't see it at all. This is just, why do I do this to myself?
I think, in fact, I would define it more as a situationship than a relationship.
I don't think Grace knows the definition of a situationship. A situationship is basically friends with benefits with a different type of terminology. That's why I said I think Mario is friend zoned. If he has any interest in Princess Peach, which I don't think, according to the games, he does, she's friend zoned him because she ain't interested. I mean, and why am I even having this freaking conversation about a flipping video game? Holy crap. Why did I even crawl down this rabbit hole?
But I think what really bothered me about not only Peach but Rosalina is that they're viewed as the moms of their respective kingdoms. And so I don't like the
Oh, good. There's something wrong with being a mom. Great message, Grace.
inequity in that, because kings and princes aren't referred to as dads, right? And they don't refer consistently to their subjects as their children, right?
Actually, wrong. I've seen times in literature, I've seen times in history where the royalty has considered the peasants their children. I mean, you even, if I go back to Gladiator, Commodus said that. The people are my children. And I believe a lot of rulers looked at it the same way. I think if you were to go through history and you do some examination, I think you'd find that this panned out pretty well. So, wrong again, Grace.
So I don't understand why that's the situation for the princesses. It just didn't sit right with me.
I imagine there's not a lot that sits right with you, Grace. And this video isn't sitting right with me, so I'm going to stop it right here. I've had enough. My brain is fried. I can only take so much of listening to her nonsense. How can 936,000 people listen to her consistently? Why are you subscribed to her? She's a fucking idiot. Stop. Anyway, I'm going to end the video right here and maybe go find a small cliff to jump off of in Minecraft. And with that, like my father told me when I was 18 years old, the free video's over. Get out.